21 Scary Seclusion Stories, according to Reddit. Number 21. My senior year of high school, I went on a camping/hunting trip out into the middle of the Arizona desert with my dad and two of his cop buddies. My dad and I had a large tent with a divider that we were sharing, and his two friends had a similar setup about 20 feet away from our tents. Throughout the campsite, we had a fire pit, ice chests, etc. Well, the morning of the second day, my father told us he woke up at 3 a.m. because he heard someone very slowly and methodically walking through camp, occasionally fidgeting with some sort of thing in the camp. He knew it wasn't me and wasn't either of his friends. He could hear both of them snoring quite loudly and confirmed with them that they didn't go to the bathroom or what have you. We were in the absolute middle of nowhere. Nearest civilization was an hour-and-a-half drive away. He laid in the tent, listening to whoever this was walking through the camp for a good 15 minutes before they eventually left. He said he had this absolute terrifying sense of dread during the entire situation, and didn't dare call out or do anything. He just listened as some stranger walked through the camp in the middle of nowhere. My dad has been a cop for well over 25 years, and he's seen some really rough shit over the few years. But he said those 15 minutes and the hours after that was the most terrified he's been in his entire life. Number 20. Almost died due to heat. I was hiking in a remote area with another ranger. We were new to the area and specifically chose a hike where we knew people usually died every year, so we could have an idea of what the area looked like when we would inevitably go to respond. Ended up getting to be over 100 degrees that day. At one point I had given up and curled up under a tiny overhang to get the only shade that I could find. We were still about 5 or 6 miles away from our vehicle. I ended up cooling down just enough to crawl out of the drainage that we were in. Once up there was enough of a breeze to cool me down and keep me going. At some point, the other ranger went down. Luckily, by then the sun was starting to set, so it was starting to cool down. Gave him the last bit of water. We had zombie walked the last 1.5 miles out. What kind of whack ass shit is this? Alright. Every freaking time, bro. What's putting off all that noise? Wait, is the PlayStation on? Yeah, it is. God damn it. Let me just shut that off. Alright. Number 19. Took a friend climbing at 5 Open Books in Yosemite Valley. She'd been climbing a few times before, but not really experienced. I'm leading up one of those mellow routes when a couple of Euros above us decide that they really need to rappel across diagonally down the face rather than just straight down. Okay. Of course, they were arguing the whole time in their language and paying zero attention to the way they were doing what they were doing. They were kicking all kinds of shit down as they went. I tried to tell them to be careful, but they were busy pretending they either couldn't hear or understand us. They managed to dislodge a not overly large rock that hit me dead on the top of the head and knocked me out. My partner arrests my fall, but then she sees me just hanging up there and starts yelling for help. While I missed the next part, apparently they totally saw the whole thing and just continued to bail rather than helping her, and I continued their "we can't hear or understand you" bit all the way down and past us. They hit the ground, pulled their rope, and left us hanging, literally. Eventually I recovered enough sense to get us down, but it was high pucker factor endeavor. I went straight to my local climbing store, this was way pre-internet anything, and bought a pair of helmets. Haven't climbed without one since. I spend a lot of time alone in faraway places, a lot of solo sailing and backpacking. The really scary stuff doesn't involve other people out there. Okay. Number 18. I worked at a very remote lake, doing creel surveys on fishermen when they came. Would maybe see 1 or 2 people a week at this lake, and the rest of the time I had to myself. One time, when nobody else was around, I fell asleep in my hammock by the lake and dozed for a few hours. Some rustling and nudging woke me up, and I opened my eyes to two massive black eyes and a giant hairy face inches away from mine. I freaked out, flipped out of the hammock, and this big bull jumped back and took off. The cowboy driving the cattle laughed his ass off before coming to say hi. I guess that's not really a creepy human being story, but damn, that scared the hell out of me. Number 17. Was hitchhiking in Greece. Got dropped off at a crucial fork in the road for my journey in the middle of the night by a super nice guy. He was going the other way, but you had big titties and a nice mouth. A nice purty mouth. I had to camp for the night in the middle of nowhere and start again in the morning. His were the only headlights I saw from getting out of his vehicle to walking a half mile into the woods. I set up camp, had some whiskey, and started to doze off. Before I could, I heard footsteps coming toward me. I'm freaking out. I hear someone right outside of my tent. I yell, "I have a weapon," and start to open, and they bolt. I see a figure run back towards the road. I closed the tent and stayed awake for 8 hours until the sun came up, fighting a sleep-deprived, drunken sleepiness the whole night. It was the worst night of my life, but I never saw whoever it was again. Holy shit. This seems a bit intense. Number 16. I'm a geologist. I did my graduate fieldwork in Western Nevada. This all better be outrageously pertinent information, buddy. The first time I crossed a range that I assumed only had a handful of humans that had crossed it, I saw a hand-built shack with a legit mountain man out front. I kinda lost my shit. After a while, I became to appreciate running. Nigga, after a while, I became to appreciate? Come on now. You're the scary one writing shit like this. I don't want to meet you in the woods. After a while, I came to appreciate running into these off-the-grid folk. Then one day, I crossed a mountain range and was walking... Sorry, my nose got itchy. I hope you guys are great. I love you. Okay. After a while, oh my, you read that. Then one day, I crossed a mountain range, was walking up on what looked like some kind of farm. As I got closer, I could smell it. Outdoor weed. On BLM land. I immediately freaked out, hit the ground, and tried to scurry out of there. On my way out, I was confronted by a man with what appeared to be an AR-10 or 15. I was carrying a sidearm for animals, cougars, and whatnot, but not in a position to pull it. He offered me $10,000 to not report it and let me go. Never collected the $10K or reported it. Too scared to do either. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You a lie. You damn well know you take that 10K, baby. Like this video if you want 10K right now. I want 10K. Subscribers. Number 15, nothing crazy. However, me and my daughter were doing a weekend camping trip in northern Ontario. It's cold, and not uncommon to get a foot of snow this time of year, overnight. We met a young man slightly younger than me, nice fellow, was wanting to spend a week alone in a bush, and it looked like he went to a sporting goods store and just bought what everyone recommended to him. Everything was new and unused. He was camped relatively close by, and it was getting cold. Me and my daughter were enjoying a fire and a hot chocolate when I looked over and I noticed the site was dark, and a few cheese words were being thrown around. So I went over with my daughter and asked him if he needed any help with anything. He was trying to start a fire. However, it had rained like a madman the previous day, so everything was still soaked. Poor Side had no idea how to start a fire with wet wood. No kindling and just a fire steel. So my daughter and I showed him how. I took time to ensure that he knew how to start a fire when everything was wet. I like it when we could get it wet. You know what I'm talking about? Get it wet. A few cheese words. Yeah, dude. I'm just supposed to read through all of these fucking spelling errors. It's getting so ridiculous. Okay. So me and my daughter, we show him how to start it. Bing bong. Keep it wet. Gave him a nice piece of birch bark for a fire later on his trip. He was very thankful. I was legitimately worried for him. And then he tried to rape me and my daughter. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Can you believe that? We only barely made it away. Number 14. Hiking in a fairly popular area in Southern California with my wife. We were looking for a disused trail that is supposed to lead to a hidden hot spring a few miles from the split off the main trail. Finding the split was the difficult part. We'd been looking at maps and doing internet detective work to pin down exactly which direction to take, but the info was not at all consistent, so we decided to wing it. Being pretty familiar with the area and reasonably seasoned and well-prepared hikers, we had a bunch of false alarms, taking spur trails that looped back, dead ends, or areas that were just overgrown. The main trail at one point crosses a campground, which at the time was closed for the season. We paused in the campground, to relax at a picnic table, take advantage of the water spigot, and refill our camelbacks. We get it, nigga. You think that you a camper or some shit. Some shit like this make me want to just dive into people's fucking user history and make sure they're not a fucking bitch. So let me go ahead and sort some of this shit by the most upvoted crap. Cause if it's the comment that you just left, I'ma kill you, nigga. I'ma kill you. This just same guy, he wrote in a question that was asked that says, what's something old that works better than the same thing new? He responds, sewing machines? Many older sewing machines were built more like a machine tool for house, nigga. Wait a minute. What's this person name? How do we know this ain't a lady? What you talking about, sewing machines? What you talking about? Brave Little Toaster and Homeward Bound. That's your favorite childhood movie? This is a lady. This is a hard haircut dyke of a woman. Okay, I said it. Let's keep with the vibe, I guess. Whatever. That's when I noticed the ground under the spigot was wet. Someone had let the water run. No big deal. Except the trail doesn't connect to any others. And we were the only people at the trailhead. Hadn't seen any other cars or the forest road going up. Now curious, I looked around the site, started finding signs of a really ill-prepared and messy camper. An old bedsheet wadded up under a tree, clothing items, empty food cans, and parts of a mess kit. Did the old cowboy movie trick, and the fire ring ashes are still warm. Kinda odd, but really no big deal, so we move on and continue looking for our hidden trail. We start down a path that seems promising when around a bend we find stacked bags of fertilizer, folded tarps, and about 10 cardboard boxes full of styrofoam cups with little weed plants in them. The messy abandoned camp now makes a lot of sense. We backed out and started heading to the car, and as we approach the campground to cross back, we hear a motorcycle coming up the campground road and watch it go directly to the messy site. The dude just gets off, looks around, then jumps back on the bike and takes off towards the exit. Waited a few more minutes listening for anything unusual, then beat feet back to the car. We beat feet. Yeah, sounds like some unbearable fucking phrase for getting the fuck out of there that people like this would use. Man, I don't want to know any people who go camping. Just kidding. Please strap a camera to you so that I can narrate some of the crazy and spooky shit that you do out there when they find your corpse. I mean, when you get back from camping. Kyle, baby. As we roll up this list... Oh, you're not supposed to say shit like this on this one, man. I am just not built for these anymore. Number 13. I was on my wife's family's ranch with about 1,000 acres. Read it like an asshole. Read it like an asshole. I was scouting. Wait, whoa. You know what? What's the name of that one dude that makes like just that good shit when it comes to the fucking spooky dookie music, dude? We gotta find some of that, and it'll just be one. Okay, it'll just be one. Hold on. What's this here? Sad piano music. This ought to be good. It's gonna be great. Give me a second. No. Go to like an old one. It's gotta be. What's this? This ought to do it. I was on my wife's family's ranch. Nah, man, I gotta make it faggotier. Hold on here. I'm gonna try and fag up my voice, guys. I was on my wife's family's ranch, which is about 1,000 acres. Nah, you can hear the bass in my voice. That's bad. Hold on. I was scouting deer as it was deer season. I had my rifle slung. This isn't funny, and I apologize. All right, fine. I was on my wife's family's ranch, which is about 1,000 acres. I was scouting deer as it was deer season. I had my rifle slung on my back as I was walking through the woods. As I walk out of the woods onto one of our dirt roads into the property, I saw 2 strangers sitting on the back bed of their white pickup truck. They had rifles in their hands. I approached them with a friendly wave. As I approached them, I kept my rifle slung on my back so as not to threaten them. I asked them how they are doing and what they are hunting. They said that they were doing fine and just looking for some deer. I then noticed 6 or 7 beer cans on the ground. They asked me the same thing and I told them that I was good and scouting deer as well. Here comes the hard part. I asked them how they got onto the property. They began to mumble and asked me the same question. I politely told them that my wife's family owns the property, and I then told them that they should leave. I told them to have a great day and started walking backwards. After around 20 yards, I turn around and start walking very briskly, and I hear one shot in my direction. I hit the ground behind a bush and another shot rings out and I hear the whiz. I immediately position myself to open fire on them and I see one guy packing up his gun into the back bed of the truck. I take aim at his right leg and fire. I get up and start running into the woods. I hear screaming. After 20 minutes, I get back to my Tahoe and call the game warden and the local sheriff. They come out after about 30 minutes and these poachers were gone. I told them all the details and descriptions and I told them that I think I shot one of them in the leg. The next day I get a call from the local sheriff saying that they had a guy in the local ER with a GSW to the leg. He sent me a picture via text message. It was the nigga I shot. He survived and got 4 years in prison, but he's gonna be out and he knows where your wife's family lives, baby. You should have killed his ass. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm just telling a story. I have no input here. Too long didn't read. My wife's family has a ranch. I found poachers on it. I told them to leave and they fired on me. And I fired back, hitting one in the leg. He got arrested at the local ER. Fucking kidding me. Why can't I be an asshole on YouTube? That's how you get, so you gotta be a faggot, you know? You really gotta be a faggot, man. I can do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to this guy's page, okay? And I'm gonna look for the video with the most views on it. Oh God, Jeff the Killer. It's oh God. Okay, yeah. And I'll read the next one just like a bitch, just like okay, here it is. Let's set the mood here, guys. Ooh, God. Oh my God. All right, here it is. But in a faggot voice. A few summers ago, me and a few buddies went catfishing at a local reservoir. This is rural Ohio, and the reservoir was off a dirt road about 2 miles from the village it fed, which was a village of about 1,500 people. We had fished at this spot tons of times and were very rarely saw with other people during the day. We never saw anyone out there at night. So the day we went out, it was like 9. In the nighttime, sun's going down, we had a couple beers. We were planning on steering clear of trouble and shit. But before we knew it, we were trying not to be bothered, okay? We actually drove a dirt service road clear around the reservoir as far away as we could get from the road in. The service road was nothing but compacted dirt with tree roots running across it, areas that had washed away during flooding, fallen trees in the road that had been there for years. This was not a well-traveled road, and the only way we got around it was that we all lifted our 4x4 trucks or jeeps. The site we picked out on a piece of land that stretches out into the water in a bit of a teardrop kind of shape goes maybe 20 feet out into the reservoir. So we have water on all sides of us beside our back. We figure we can fish from different directions since we have about 5 or 6 poles in the water. It would give us a little more room to cast without tangling our lines. Don't cross the streams. Plus, there was a remnant of a fire pit and some wood that was already collected. So we get a fire started, bait our poles, and start drinking. Bitch, we start thinking. We fish for around 2 to 3 hours and get good and drunk. We fish for about 2 or 3 hours, get good and drunk. In the meantime, a thick summer fog creeps in across the lake. And then we hear a kersploosh, and we see the ripples coming from across the lake to our right. There's maybe 50 yards of water between us and the other bank, and the fog was so thick, we couldn't see the bank or what caused the sound. But we could see the ripples in the water once they got to us. And we explain it away as maybe a tree limb falling in the water, or maybe a beaver jumping off the bank. Do beavers jump? We keep fishing. About 20 minutes later, another huge splash. Ripples come again. Let me tell you, there was no mistaking the sound. It was not a fish flopping. It was not a frog jumping. It was the sound of a large, heavy object, like someone makes when they do a cannonball off of the diving board. But we explain it away as we did the first time. Shortly after this, we run out of wood for the fire, so we leave one guy to watch the poles. Me and a few buddies go out into the brush to find fallen sticks and whatnot. We all go our separate ways and meet back at the fire shortly after. One of my buddies comes back to fire with a white jacket, a pair of rubber boots, and a clown mask in his arms. Now, this was about the time when there were all these posts about scary clowns who would lurk around the town to scare people. I knew those stories were bullshit, so I figured it was just leftover from dumbass kids who had a party out there one night and left it. So we get the fire going again, we fish for a little while longer, and we hear twigs breaking in the woods across the lake and another huge splash. At this point, we know there is someone out there with us, and the sound has to be coming from someone dropping something into the lake. So we call out like, "Hey! Is there someone out there? We aren't making trouble, just fishing, drinking beers. We'd be happy to have you join us." Dead silence. So we call out again and again, to no response. A couple of my buddies are seriously freaking out at this point, being drunk as fuck. We're drinking beer. Now there's the clown mask, the fog, the splashes. What we doing right here? So I get that drunk courage, baby. You know that kind. I decide we should all go for a walk around the bend and see what the fuck going on. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, plap, plap, baby. This guy's being a fucking asshole and trying to scare me. Do you know how many kills I get in Halo 3? I convinced 2 of my buddies to come with me, and the other 2 watch the poles. Ooh. So we 3 trek into the brush with our flashlights, make our way through the thick-ass fog, start working around this lake, and as we go, we start finding bits of trash and saplings that had been cut down. And then more trash. And saplings. And footprints. Someone in their bare feet? Which is odd, since it was so much work to get back to this spot on the lake. No one would be hiking around this far around the lake to fish in this spot. As I'm sweeping the woods with my flashlight, I walk over the crest of the hill, and not 10 feet in front of my face is a tent. This tent had been there for a long time. There was moss growing on the sides of it. There was trash and shit all around this campsite. Most concerning, though, was the pile of propane tanks. There had to have been 15 or 20 of those 5-gallon propane tanks. So we all look at each other and I said, well, I guess this is none of my business. And we all hurriedly made our way back to the fire. Back to the fire. My desire is to leave. Let us conspire. Bring you to your knees when we get, please, further away from this man and his propane. He's not Hank Hill. He's got propane. But what about accessories? We hurriedly made our way back. We threw all of our shit in the back of the trunks, made our way out there in a hurry. On the way out from this lake, we pull onto the main dirt road and pass a shitty little Toyota Camry with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes. Can you see in the car? Oh me, oh my, why 5? Watching in the rear view, they pull onto the service road. We flew. We just let out of it. I can't believe it. So for those of us that aren't savvy to rural southern Ohio and haven't figured it out, 5 drunk idiots were out at a local backwoods just fucking around, busted a meth lab in the middle of the woods. Oh, it was a meth lab. Okay, that's even weirder. That story sucked, and it was a waste of my time. And boy, was it just long and long and long and long. Who the hell?
Seriously, thanks for helping me feel happy when life just seems sad.
Jesus Christ, Jessica, I love you. Baby, don't be sad. I love you, okay? You're fine. Jessica, it'll get better, even if it has to get worse before it gets better, as terrible as that sounds. But you do have, you have something to look up to, and look up to or look forward to. Fuck me. I'm sorry that it seems bad right now. And, I promise you that you're going to reach a point in your life where you're going to be able to do what you want to do and bring other people away from feeling the way that you feel right now. So as weird and odd as that may be to say, however terrible you feel right now, you'll be able to save somebody from that feeling. And that in turn will make you feel better in the future. So, I admire your strength, and I hope that you continue as best you can to push forward, because you really, you have to believe that there's something better on the other side of whatever you got going on right now. John Miko's all like, hey, Kyle. Don't do that. I just wanted to say thanks for doing these streams. You're really helping my mind off of depression. And I feel like I always have someone. Thanks a lot, dude. You're hilarious. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You guys know I'm always here for you on this little corner of the internet. Haha. I tease. Well, damn, Jesus, damn, Jesus. You gotta just blow everybody out the damn water. She didn't even read that. That's crazy. You must have triggered the spam filter. I have nothing. I have no control over that, man. I'm sorry, my man. I love you, my man. A special thanks to Jessica, the big titty Cleveland, and Jesus, the big dick gotta wave it in everybody's face. Don't y'all know I got money, homies? Savior of the Kyle stream. Thank you so much. But I'm so sorry. God, that was a bit excessive on my part. I'm sorry. Hopefully this doesn't get back to Muji. Not that it would. This nigga has, things to do that doesn't involve listening to me being an idiot over one of his songs. But hey, I respect his music. He's a cool guy. It's just like, here's what it's like. Let me paint an analogy for that ass right now. When we put on some of those songs, we can't help but associate them with really shittily done creepypastas by assholes that, there's nothing wrong with narrating a story for the internet, dude. And if people find something in that, if they like it, then more power to them. And they deserve to have that thing that they like. Them liking something isn't hurting anybody, so allow them to like it. But that doesn't mean I have to pretend that they're good. And a lot of these creepypastas I hear are just like, I was walking down the street. And it's just like, oh my God. It's just like a triple whammy. Like let's not go into it. But the reason that in my mind, it has like this kind of, it makes me like flinch when I hear it is because of, I don't know how old some of you guys are, but when the internet first happened, a lot of AMVs were taking the internet by storm. And I'm talking like pre-Naruto AMVs, baby. Like when it was pretty much all Dragon Ball Z. When it was all Dragon Ball Z AMVs. What is an AMV? It's basically somebody taking clips from something and cutting it together. And they're basically making like a trailer, but set to a song, okay? And back in the day, boy, I can't tell you how many AMVs I saw of Gohan crying. And then, like, you know, Goku or somebody powering up, dude, set to some Linkin Park song. That was the internet. And you'll never know. You'll never know the comedy that was YouTube, because that's what this site was for. Okay? Aaron says, I hate the Black Diablos, Kyle. Why you gotta make it racial, my dude? Why you gotta make it racial? It's all about that Nergigante. What you fighting Black Diablos for? Because you want that blunt impact. You want a weapon. That's what this guy wants. He wants a weapon that does great on its own. It's the only reason everybody's farming the damn Diablos. I have alienated some of you by talking about Monster Hunter World, but you guys, it is the greatest game that none of you guys are playing right now. It's like, it's a Pokemon game, but instead of catching all the Pokemon, you skin them so that you can make cool armor, and then you use parts that you get off of them to make weapons too. Gotta catch 'em all. You can catch them too. You actually get more stuff when you catch them as opposed to just killing them. You can only skin so much and take it back, but when you catch them, shit, you could bring all of that witching, and get all of it. You're talking about Monster Hunter World. Did somebody donate? That must have been what derailed me. Ugh. I apologize. As we continue up the list of what was it? It was like 21 scary seclusion stories. Wow. You should really mute the mic when you do this. Oh my god. Troll Moon says, is that how cosplayers get their cosplay outfits? The more you know. 3D printing seems to be where it's at these days, man. I would actually put a 3D printer on a wish list and then buy one if I knew what the fuck to look for, but I don't know what the fuck to look for straight up. Like it might as well be directions on how to go to another dimension when I Google 3D printers. So, number 11. I work on the beach at night looking for turtles. Yeah, it sounds real spooky right off the bat. Most nights you'll see one or two people with a flashlight or a couple up towards the dune trying not to be seen. Oh yeah, that's my kind of story. Most times the moon in the sky, like a big pizza pie, glows bright enough for you to see at least 20 centimeters in front of you. Centimeters. But one night it had just rained, so no one was out and the moon was covered, and even with pretty good eyes, I couldn't see shit. I was waiting for a turtle to come up out of the water and kept hearing grunting and rustling in the dune. I initially thought it was a fox, or worse, a coyote, so I figured it would go on its merry way. Nope. That thing sat there for half an hour making an occasional sound and moving around. The green turtle eventually heard it and was freaked out enough to leave. They're skittish at the best of times. By this time I was by the water, so I started walking around to go find another turtle, and the sounds followed me. Only this time it started saying things and shouting at me. Oh hell no, I booked it. Unfortunately, my vehicle was back the way I had came, so I waited on another end of the beach for 2 hours, and then I decided it was probably okay to go back. When I got back to the spot, a drunk guy is passed out there on the path of with a path of cans leading back into the dune. Damn it. You know this is a woman with how poorly she articulated this tale. We can assess that perhaps it was a dude that was drunk following her and grunting in her direction. But she didn't make the story juicy by like looking back at him and saying, and he had his dick out and he was just jerking it. And he was like, get over here, I'll fuck you. You know, I'm talking about something like that. And then she ran. Not saying that the story isn't good if, you know, there wasn't a element of vulgarity to it. Whatever, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Number 10, descended a mountain we had just climbed. My girlfriend at the time took a fall and got knocked unconscious. That's my story. When she came to, she had no idea what was in her mouth. Where she was or what was going on. Just keep it. Come on, man. The problem here was we were still in a very exposed and dangerous section. And the sun was setting and it was starting to rain. We were a good 6,000 feet in elevation and 6 walking miles from our car, and another hour's drive from there until we had cell phone service. My God. We ended up having to set up rappel station after rappel station to lower her down off the mountain, and I had to stay right behind her the whole time because she had forgotten how to lower herself properly. My friend and I had to split up the contents of her pack, all while trying to safely climb down ourselves. She was crying and yelling and was just generally emotionally unstable. Honestly, it was like she was a different person. Man, that sucks. What should have only taken us a few hours to get back took multiple times that. She was later diagnosed with a severe concussion. I'm grateful that my other partner and I were experienced enough that we were able to get her to safety, but everything was terrifying. Girlfriend was concussed. Getting her to safety was hard and scary. Did she make a recovery, my dude? Did she make a recovery? It was like living with a drunk person for a few days, but she made a full recovery within a month or so. Her helmet was destroyed though. Holy shit. At least she had one, dude. Good job. Boy, that's probably one of the first legitimate scary ones on this list. So I guess it needed to home in on that top 10 before it got good. Baby. Baby. Number 9. Damn, motherfucker. A trail I like backpacking in an isolated area of Pennsylvania was the setting for this odd encounter. The trail had a short section that goes over someone's cabin and continues to the other side of his yard. It's marked with an orange blaze so you can see where to go. Usually it's an empty cabin. I always do some peering inside since it's in a pretty secluded spot, probably 4 or 5 miles from a major road. One time, I was hiking through, and there was a large dude grilling outside with about 15 Bud Light cans on the ground near him. I distinctly remember him saying, "Keep it moving, no food here," which I thought was funny since I didn't say anything about needing food. Fast forward the following year and I decide to take my sister, my wife, and her best friend on a trip that takes us through this very spot. As we were walking up on it, I see the dude is there again, which is odd since I've hiked the trail 100 times and this is only twice that I've seen him. He is grilling again, beer cans everywhere. I see him start to give me the keep it moving signal until he sees who I am with. Now the girls I'm traveling with are attractive, so I'm nervous all of a sudden. He asks us to stay for dinner, says he has plenty of food. I tell him no, we are good, just trying to enjoy the trail away from the comforts of home. He gets weirdly pushy about us staying, and I firmly say no thanks, we are just passing through. I hear the dude mumble to himself as we continue past his house. This is where things get weird. There is a prominent camping spot not too far from this section of the trail, and it's late. In my head, I want to keep going because I don't want to camp near this asshole. The consensus is everyone is pretty tired, so we set up camp. I'm nervous the whole time, thinking this drunk dude knows where there are 3 women camping in tents near his cabin. I never get nervous around folk I see on the trail because everyone is usually very nice and wonderful to talk to. The guy just felt off to me though. Fast forward to the middle of the night, and sure enough, I hear someone on the trail outside the tent. I am just praying it's a bear at this point, but I hear the dude mumbling to himself and I panic. I hear him now in the camp. He's growing through our shit and is piss drunk. Fuck. Well, if he drunk, you should be able to fight this nigga. I realize I have to blow a horn. I have a blowhorn on my pack. I use on the trail to scare off animals should I encounter any. So I unzip the tent and slowly roll out. Dude is fumbling around and it's scary as hell because it's the middle of darkness in the middle of nowhere. I start to run towards him and blow my air horn repeatedly, and it's loud as shit. Everyone in their tent starts screaming. The dude nearly shits his pants and starts bumbling the fuck out of there. Everyone is so shooken up at this point that we pack up and night hike out of there. Worst experience I've ever had. Well, why couldn't you communicate to these dumb hoes that y'all needed to just turn the fuck back out of there and get out of there, man? People ain't... Well, y'all hiking people are fucking crazy. How about that? Anybody hike in the stream chat? Talk about that. Talk about how crazy you are. Y'all just out there. You know what I mean? Y'all bring guns. What's really going on when you go hiking? Number 8, hiking off the main trail along a river. When I notice some sweaty older dude in an open Hawaiian shirt has followed me into the woods. I press on until reaching a steep bank and an impasse and turn to head out past him. I swerve through a cane break to avoid walking by him, and he still stops to ask, "Hey, looking for a good time?" I said, "Fuck no," and nope the fuck out of there. What? Oh my God. Number 7. In college, I lived near the edge of the city, and there was this road nearby that winded through some forest before opening up to some farms. It was rarely used by the cars, and people avoided walking there because there were no sidewalks and it went nowhere. Halfway down the road was abandoned. It was this abandoned property that had apple trees that produced a ton of fruit that always ended up on the ground. One evening just after sunset, I passed by the property on my way back from a run, so I picked my way into the brambles to grab some apples. After I got a couple, I circled back in some bushes to head home, and right in the path was a middle-aged man creeping towards me with his hands spread like he was hunting something. And I fucking lost it. I screamed and kind of flailed my arms so the apples flung towards him. He also jumped and went, "Oh no, sorry, I thought you were a deer." and backed up into the road. He was super embarrassed and apologetic, and I was way too happy to not be getting murdered to get mad, but holy crap, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. What does this mean, fat man? Strange. One moment. I should buy that controller. I think we should finish this. We're kind of close, but you know, these are long-winded. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh my god, look at 3. Oh my god, look at 2. Oh my god. That's fine. Number 6. I am in search and rescue unit. We have some rather interesting experiences. I'll share one about a man that I never actually encountered, and that's what makes it strange. We got called out to this search Sunday afternoon to a fairly popular state park that has both backcountry and front country trails. 2 guys were hiking one of the backcountry trails when one of them starts to feel a little off. They know they are close to their car, around 1.5 miles. So the one that's feeling fine tells the other one to wait while he hikes to the car and back to get some medication. When he returns, his friend is gone. It had been maybe 4 or 5 hours since the missing person was last seen to when I showed up on site. I was the first to show up to the search among a few other friends on the team. Most of us, including my unit coordinator, were thinking that this would be a quick search. The guy hasn't been lost that long. It's a fairly popular park. He was last seen not too far from here. They were on a clearly blazed trail. So we get sent out on a hasty search, basically a search and a...
Well played.
What? Basically a search in a highly a high probably area? High probability, right? I'm not reading shit in parentheses. Since you can't fucking help yourself. That ought to cut this fucking thing down like 3 paragraphs, you freaking lunatic. Near the point last seen, I spotted a phone along with... Sorry, I'm hearing like peeking from the mic, and I'm making sure it's me. I spotted a phone along with some other items about 10 meters off the trail. After confirming the phone belonged to our subject, we thought, okay, we found his phone. This is going to wrap up within the next half hour or so. Boy, were we wrong. The search continued through the evening. More ground units arrived, mounted units arrived, and cleared a mile upon mile of trail. Air scent and trailing canine showed up. Units from other countries showed up. Park rangers searched continuously. The search continued through the night, the next morning, all day, another night, and another 2 days after that. I can't remember the statics that my unit coordinator told us, but thousands of man-hours were out in that search. Acres upon acres of land were covered, but the subject was never found, and as of writing this, as far as I know, he has yet to be located. We were all very surprised to turn up empty-handed, while we all thought the search would be over quickly. Among the items found with the phone was a bag and a straw. After testing these objects in a lab, it was found that certain substances may have been used by the subject, the effect of which can cause paranoia. This might cause a subject who would otherwise be responsive to be unresponsive, or even worse, evasive. The moral of the story is don't do meth, but if you are going to do meth, don't do it while you're fucking hiking or camping. What the hell? But why couldn't they find him? Right. So, number 5. Oh, what did a man write this? just playing, subs. Sorry. Number 5. An old weathered looking dude with a gun who was in some shrubs. I just caught sight of a gun, then a face, and shit myself. He was probably just a hunter. He seemed like an okay guy, but that's just judging by his wheezy laughter. Man. Number 4. Okay, I was the scary person, unintentionally. One day as an 18-year-old, I decided to go smoke a joint by the river, and I was far enough out of town, and it was a weekday, so I didn't expect to run into anybody. But I've always been paranoid, so I decided to take a large hatchet I keep in my van with me. My van was decked out with heavy metal band stickers, unwashed and beat up. I kind of want a van, man. No lie. I think it would suit Kyle. That's terrible. I also am relatively big guy, so at this time we were wearing one of my favorite shirts from the movie House of a Thousand Corpses, which said, gas, food, murder. Really? Really, dude? Come on, man. I caught a Black Diablos 2 with your bitch ass. You think you special, nigga? You think you special, my dude? What you think you is, man? I actually turned my PS4 on when he wrote that shit like it's special. Anyway. He had a gas, food, and murder shirt, and it was in big letters on his back. I smoke my doobie in my van by the river, and then decide to walk around the parking lot with my hatchet. Really? What kind of neckbeard are you? As I get to the middle of the parking lot, I hear a vehicle coming and I think, oh shit, I better hide this hatchet. So I hold it behind my back. The vehicle was another minivan, and decidedly more soccer momish, with a family that had young children inside. As I'm staring at them through my marijuana-induced stupor, the mom floors it, does a U-turn, and speeds out of the area. The area I was at was around half a mile of highway, so I know they weren't just going down there to turn around. I got the uneasy feeling that I needed to leave the area ASAP, so I did. And as I was back on the highway, 2 sheriff deputy cruisers went flying by me in the direction towards the river area. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe. Oh, my stomach feels funny. My stomach feels pretty funny. Hey, I want to show Aaron Deere something really quick in case he thinks he's a big shot. Hey, Aaron. What do you think that is right there, Aaron? Aaron, tell me what that is. Aaron. What's that? What's that in my little captured area right there? That looks like a Black Diablos, Aaron. And just in case you think it's anybody else, you see Star Wars prequel right there, my little kitty cat, my green kitty cat. That is my green kitty cat. That is a captured Black Diablos. Just one of thousands that I have captured. That's right. I'm going to say thousands in a game that only just came out. That's right. That's right. It's just one of my many screen caps from a game of Miggledy Higgledy. Oh, yeah. But that's enough Monster Hunter screenshots for right now. Let's go ahead and finish this. Let's finish this list. Alexa seems surprised that it's Friday. Wow. Here's hoping everybody else is fine. Oh boy. Number 3 on what feels like a really lengthy list. It's only been an hour, but God. My husband and I hiked the approach trail to Springer Mountain several years back, planning to summit and return to the bottom and camp. It's summer, like 90 degrees. Besides a few trail runners early in the day, we really see no one. It takes a few hours longer than we anticipated, and we are beat. Also, because of the way my leggings rubbed, I have the worst chafing imaginable and just do not want to hike down again. Man, somebody should send me pictures of them in leggings. Just saying. Just kidding, I know most of y'all don't own leggings. And what a tragedy that is. I'll set up a Buy You Girls Leggings fund. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody at the Kyle compound is wearing leggings. Even the men. Stupid sexy Flanders. We set up to cook dinner, and a man comes out from the opposite direction towards the summit. My husband strikes up a conversation, and the man agrees to give us a ride back to the park where we started. We throw our packs into his truck, but I keep my cell phone in hand. And even though it is nearly dead and I have no signal, the guy said he knew the way back to the park and could get us back quickly. But then suddenly he takes a wrong turn. And now he has to turn around. Something about the story does not add up during the entire ride. He says his wife is in labor with their first child, but he had to get away for a bit to take a hike to clear his mind. Okay, maybe he's nervous it happens? He just kind of rambles about weird things and then realizes, oh wait, I've taken another wrong turn. We turn onto a road and there is this old house and he wants us to get out and look at it. He won't take no for an answer. Then it gets really weird. He asks if he can take pictures of us in front of this house, standing on the porch, sitting. He is in full photo shoot mode. I want you to look happy. Now I want you to look angry. We get back to the car. I'm thoroughly creeped out. He is Sheldon Cooper in Ted Bundy form. He tells my husband that his car is running hot and needs some water to cool it down. Nigga, what's your husband just doing in this situation? He has some in the trunk if my husband wouldn't mind getting it for him. I instinctively hop out because no way I'm getting left in a car with some guy trying to split us up. We put the water in, and away we go. I'm telling my husband in the car we had to meet so-and-so tomorrow morning.
Yo, dog, I just got Monster Hunter for PS4.
You did it, Raw is War. Now that you have the game, there are things that you should do, including and but not limited to playing it. Sort your ass out with those tutorials. And then you and Kyle, the over 100-hour douche that can't join your baby ass training wheel mode matches, we'll play, you know. But you got to make it through that gangsta shit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to join you, man. Let me play with you, man. You know.
I did it, Kyle. There it is. How we do it together now,
man. Oh, thank you for your donation. You know you're a badass, and you know that I appreciate those 420 donations.
Smoke weed every day.
Sorry, he is Sheldon Cooper in Ted Bundy form. I'm telling my husband that we have to meet so-and-so tomorrow morning because we have plans, right? whatever I can just so this man takes the hint that someone knows where we are and had plans to see us the next day. I am fantastically relieved when I finally see that we are finally nearing where we parked our car in the park. Why would you phrase it like that, nigga? My brain just broke on that. I am finally nearing where we park our car in the park. Where we parked our car in the park make more sense? Where our car was parked? Why you gotta park your car in the park? Oh no. When we finally find it, this man will not leave. While we were putting our packs and things into the car asking our plans, he asked for my phone number. And I give it to him off by 1 digit. I tell my husband to go into the hotel and get us a room for the night so that we can rest. Our plan is to actually wait until he is gone and we will get a campsite. The man says, well, they have a really great dinner. I will follow you inside to see about that. I lock myself in the car and my husband delivers some spiel to the desk attendant about us needing to book a campsite, something. Can we drive around and look for an empty one? He was feeling extremely skeptical about the situation too. His plan was to say we were booking a site, wait for this guy to leave, and return to the hotel later where the guy wouldn't know our room or anything. We drive to the farthest, lowest point of the campground and sit for nearly 2 hours. It's getting dark. We are tired. We finally decide to drive through the camping area and to the hotel. Surely this guy has gone. As we drive past the tents, we see his car just sitting and waiting, where he has a full view of the camping area, but can also see the hotel parking. My husband pulls a U-turn, and we book it nearly 2 hours from the park and find the worst, cheapest hotel. To this day, we swear to God we dodged a bullet. Y'all already fucking know y'all dodged a bullet jumping in the car of a stranger, nigga. Y'all people fucked up. This man could have committed the nearly perfect crime if he had picked us up from the top of the mountain and we just never returned to our car. The fact that this was waiting for us when we returned sealed it for us that this guy really had some major horrible plan for us in mind. Y'all niggas fucked up. Oh, y'all had... This isn't the dude, is it? Oh, that's just like the trail or whatever. Oh, 757.
The Sile coast to coast.
That's pretty good. 757. That's a nice plane. Hey, 42 people in the stream chat. Where the hell did y'all come from? See, if all of y'all actually like my video, then maybe 3 people might subscribe to me tomorrow. Can you do that for me? Is that not too much to ask? Okay? You know? Like I just have this big pee-pee for nothing and people don't even care? You people don't care? Wait, what did Aaron say? He retracted his post. That was probably good.
Before I get good at Monster Hunter, we could also play Call of Duty together?
Sure, whatever. We can play that together whenever. Forever! We're meant to be together. I'm just annoying. I'm going to listen to music the whole time. That's what I do when I'm not streaming. I need to remain creative. Need the music to be absorbed into the gallery. So how come you never played Overwatch, Reservoir? What's going on there? Oh, hold on. I feel like I may have some sort of heartburn or something. All I know is I need to take antacid. I just hope everybody's okay. Guys, as we destroy the rest of this list, my god. There's only like 2 remaining, aren't there? Why does he say I prefer fly acid? What's that? You guys hear that, like, these, what were they? They were like some kind of, fuck me. They were Trump and Kim Jong-un impersonators that got kicked out. Ooh! We have a Olympian whose ski suit is Captain Marvel. Oh boy. Okay, I'm trying to find that picture of, it's already gone? Damn. Shit just fall the fuck off the front page so fast. There were these 2 dudes, they were like, they were impersonators of Kim Jong-un and Trump. I want to see this, but I can't post it. I mean, I can't show it, obviously. Okay, well, that ain't bad. That's nice. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Man, it could be fatter. I ain't in the mood for that. Twig-ass females. All right, what's up? What's up? I'm going up. I'm trying to find you the thing. But whatever. Here's something. Here's something more mature. I know it's up some people's alleys here. If Fat Man is still here, this is most certainly what he's all about. So, all right, check it out, guys. You know, there's a waterfall of shit between you and Hot Slut. What do you do? Question mark. Okay. What do you do? Okay, so here we're gonna go find some be me, be hero. See trapped hot babe. Walk through waterfall of shit to rescue her. Carry her back through waterfall of shit. She is so grateful for being rescued. Take a shower together. Fuck like rabbits. Knock her up. Oops. Force her to get married. Yeah. She has a kid. Grow tired of stale, uneventful life. Reminisce about my adventure through waterfalls of shit. Hate being tied down. She gets agitated and bitchy about losing my attention. Argue a lot. Life really sucks. She wants a divorce. Fuck. Pay alimony for the rest of my life. Go back to the waterfall of shit where we first met. Drown myself. Yeah. Oh boy. Pure lightsaber of thought slaying. Okay, come on now. Please stop. Because the guy up there now. Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. How come I can't find any pictures of Kim Jong-un and the other guy now? Because it was just, I was working out just now. Oh, here it is. I opened it up before. That works. See, look how good they look. They're pretty convincing. The Kim Jong-un especially. But I know what you guys are thinking. It's that, you know, he's Asian. How hard is it to pull off looking like another Asian when everybody's last name is like one of 3 last names? Oops. All right. Hey, you guys want to know something that I only just learned the other day? That over 50% of the population over there in Bing Bong Land has the same last names, and for a while it was illegal for you to marry somebody with the same last name. So imagine everybody is naming their kid something Kim, right? And then you find somebody and she just hot as fuck. She got that jiggly booty and them titties that's like pea cup titties. God damn, you know what I mean? You see her come out the room and you like, god damn, you know what I mean? Oh man, that should be put on a shirt. You see her come out the room and you like, god damn. Okay, anyway, but you're all like, hey baby, what's your name? And she like, Regina Kim, and you like, ew, Regina. But more importantly, I'm kidding. There's nothing wrong with the name Regina. Hey, remember when we were reading a list? As we finish the list of 21 scary seclusion stories, we're at number 2. My buddies and I would hit up the desert at night and go four-wheeling on the trails. This one night, we had stopped for a break, and this guy rolls up on us, asked if he wanted to join us. No, we asked if he wanted to join us. We continue riding, and I was second to last, with him being the last one. We were pretty familiar with the trail, so I kept looking back, checking in on him, not knowing how familiar he was or experienced a rider he was. As we're approaching the hill that overlooks most of the area, I look back and he's gone. I flag my buddies down and we go back looking for him. Nothing. We go up the hill, kill our engines, and listen for his bike or look for his lights. It was pitch black and not a sound. From the hill, I'm sure you could see for a few miles, but there was no trace of him. We looked for him on his bike till about 3 a.m. and we're unsuccessful. It still kind of bugs me that a guy just vanished like that. I hope nothing happened to the dude. It was a ghost nigga riding in the desert with y'all. The top post is deleted and all of the other comments are deleted. Man, you know Reddit can't have no damn fun. Why? When you just want to know what they said. Somebody said, my money is on drug trafficking. You gave the guy a great cover story if anyone else happened upon you. Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach and destroy the final entry on this list, number 1 reads as follows. Mapping all livable structures for the census once, we had to take every road, open or closed, every trail that looked like it was possible to find a structure near, in the backwoods of Tennessee. I was training a crew, so I would go one day with each person. Found a lot of cool stuff, abandoned schools from the 1900s, some weird permanent campsites, all that. Once, we were about 4 miles into the woods on foot and stumbled onto a shack that had moonshine still cooking with a coat hanging on a tree. Shotgun leaned against it. The girl I was training was all, "Isn't this exciting?" Shut the fuck up, Casey. No, it isn't exciting at all. The guy with a government badge finding an armed person cooking moonshine miles away from anywhere. Girl, you crazy. Wow, my God. Reddit sucks. Reddit sucks, my dude. Reddit sucks. Why do they keep deleting everything? And you know they were good. You know when a whole thread gets deleted that like, these niggas out here tripping. Y'all niggas out here tripping. Oh, damn. Let's see here. I'm a geologist. Okay, oh my ass. Sort these by top. Can you do that? You see me like clicking at this page and it don't even matter to you. What's wrong with you right now? Can I click anything? Why was this removed by the moderators? It just says, damn, Casey, are you trying to die? What's the problem with that? The moderators have got such firm sticks up their fucking vaginas. Oh my God, and the thing that was removed earlier that I was mad about was exactly what I commented. It said, sounds to me like you guys helped a ghost of the desert cross over to the other side. Just needed one more ride. It's been a long day. So why did the moderators remove this? What is wrong? I'm done. The mods are so fucking gay. Like, that's the joke. That's the meme that perhaps some of you don't understand. The mods are fags. Okay? Can we even type that into the internet without even it completing it? The mods are haha, see? The mods are gay. The mods are gay, bro. Oh, why are mods so gay? The mods preparing for the annual Deep Throat contest. Oh boy. What's on normie ass dank memes today? Okay. What's going on right here? Does size matter? Post the New York Post? Oh my god. Sex with micropenis can be a mind-bendingly good experience. You did not just write that. And then doubt from the guy in oh my god. If you guys have ever played LA Noire, it's like it's a Rockstar you know. Ooh. What is this? Just got Fortnite. Where am I dropping? Oh boy. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm hearing this Logan Paul idiot was tasing like a dead rat or something. And YouTube's like, yo, we're taking away his advertising ability, even though they gave him his fucking show back on YouTube Red. They need to just delete his shit. But he's too scared to make an example out of somebody that I just can't wait for an alternative, man. Because that's the second that YouTube goes belly up, dude. The second that YouTube has a competitor is the second that YouTube becomes Blockbuster, dude. Because they don't give a shit. YouTube doesn't give a shit about anybody. Doom will be getting a patch to fix audio issues, the menus, and more. Who cares? Who's playing Doom? Oh, they're bringing it to the Nintendo Switch for no reason. So the Nintendo Switch can have more than 2 games. I feel like that video needs to be made. Nobody's going to watch it, but I'll make it. The Nintendo Switch has 2 games. Man gets his chest crushed by a concrete slab. What are you doing, Kyle? And we can assume what happened, okay? We can assume what happened based on what the bing bong just went down there. Oh my gosh. Let's go to watch people survive, because there's nothing wrong with that.